Look back at the foundation you created. You gave her true safety. In an era where loyalty is a forgotten language, you became the shield against a chaotic world. You offered certainty. You offered a real future. And yet, she walked away. Not because you failed, not because you weren't enough, but because a fractured mind cannot endure peace. The modern world has infected people with a constant, restless hunger for illusions. They trade the absolute security of a solid man for the chaotic promise of finding themselves. They look at a real, breathing future with someone who would die for them, and they choose the illusion of freedom instead. Do you remember the days before the end? The tears, the sudden emotional breakdowns. Society will tell you that those tears meant she still loved you. Society is blind. Dark Stoicism demands that you look at human behavior with brutal, cold clarity. She did not cry out of love. She cried because her own soul was grieving the terrible mistake she was making. Deep down, beneath the excuses and the modern distractions, her subconscious knew the truth. She was murdering her own peace. She was abandoning the one person who made her feel grounded, all to chase a mirage. Even at the very end, as she looked at you, she saw your strength. She saw your progress. She saw exactly what she was losing. And still, she chose the void over you. You are standing in the silent wreckage of someone else's delusion. The silence in your room is heavy. But hear this clearly. Right now, in this exact moment, you are not the victim of this story. You are the survivor who has just been handed the greatest weapon a man can wield: absolute, unchained isolation. The freedom to take every ounce of energy you poured into protecting her and redirect it entirely into forging an iron mind. Welcome to the ultimate guide to Dark Stoicism, the path where we do not forgive and we do not forget. We conquer. Chapter 1. The Anatomy of Departure. The mind of a modern man is plagued by a single agonizing question after a betrayal. Why? Why would someone walk away from stability? Why would someone look at a man who is building a future, upgrading his life and offering absolute loyalty, only to choose uncertainty instead? Your ego wants to take the blame. Your ego whispers that you were not enough, that you should have done more, that if you had just been a little different, she would have stayed. Silence that voice. It is a liar. You must understand the psychology of a fractured mind. When a person is deeply insecure, they use chaos as a distraction. Drama, constant movement, chasing new mentors, or seeking superficial freedom. These are all painkillers. They are loud noises designed to drown out the silence of their own mind. When you brought her into your life, you gave her a safe harbor. You gave her peace, but you did not realize the danger of peace. Carl Jung, the master of the human shadow, wrote, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own souls." Read that again. Anything, no matter how absurd. When you provided a stable, quiet, and secure foundation, you accidentally took away her distractions. In the pure silence of your loyalty, she was finally forced to look in the mirror. She was forced to face her own shadow, her own flaws, and her own emptiness, and it terrified her. She did not leave you to find something better. She left you to find something louder. She returned to the chaotic illusions of the modern world because the noise prevents her from having to work on herself. She chose the illusion of freedom because the reality of commitment required a level of mental strength she simply did not possess. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." Those who constantly seek new horizons, new thrills, and new escapes are running on a treadmill. They are exhausted, yet they go nowhere. You must not hate them for this. Hate requires energy, and your energy is now the most valuable currency you possess. You look at her departure not as a loss, but as a revelation. The universe has forcefully removed a fragile structure from your property before you could build your castle on top of it. You are now standing in the clear, cold light of reality. The illusion is dead, and in its place, the real work begins. Chapter 2. The Myth of Closure. There is a lie sold to you by modern society and modern therapy. It is called closure. It is the belief that you need one last conversation, one final text message, one last meeting over coffee to finally understand why they left. You convince yourself that if you just hear the right words, the pain will stop. Let me give you the ultimate Stoic truth. The disrespect was the closure. The departure was the closure. The moment they looked at your loyalty and chose an illusion instead, that was all the closure you will ever need. Right now, you are fighting a phantom. You are looking at their digital footprint. You check their social media to see if they look happy. You watch their stories from a fake account. You are searching for a sign that they regret leaving you. Every single time you look at their profile, you are paying rent to a ghost inside your own mind. You're taking the raw, powerful energy that could be used to build your empire, and you are throwing it into a black hole. Epictetus, a slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Apply this to your life. Let her think she won. Let her think you are broken. Let her post the pictures of her new chaotic life. You do not need to prove to her that you are healing. You do not need to post motivational quotes to show her you are moving on. Dark Stoicism requires the protocol of absolute silence. You cut the cord. You block the access, not out of anger. Anger means you still care. You block her out of absolute, chilling indifference. You remove her access to your energy, your attention, and your future. We are deep into the forging process now. If you are still watching this, you are no longer the same man who clicked on this video. You can feel the weakness leaving your mind. You are realizing your own power. If this truth resonates with the iron in your blood, leave a like on this video to mark your presence. Subscribe to join the few who choose reality over comfortable lies. Do not do it to support a channel. Do it to build your own mental armory. Now, let us return to the shadows. Chapter 3. Amor Fati and the Crucible. You have cut the cord. You have embraced the silence, but the pain is still there. When you wake up in the morning, before your conscious mind fully turns on, there is a split second where you forget she is gone. And then reality hits you like a physical blow to the chest. The emptiness returns. Most men run from this feeling. They drown it in alcohol, in mindless entertainment, or in the arms of someone new who means nothing to them. They try to numb the void. Dark Stoicism demands the exact opposite. You will not numb the pain. You will step directly into the fire. The Stoics called this Amor Fati, the love of fate. You do not merely tolerate the fact that you were betrayed. You do not just survive the fact that your loyalty was thrown away. You embrace it. You look at the universe and you say, "Thank you." Why? Because a weak foundation has been destroyed before you could build your life upon it. Because you have been thrown into the crucible. A crucible is a container built to withstand extreme heat, used to melt down raw metals, burn away the impurities, and forge solid steel. Right now, your mind is the metal, and this pain is the fire. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who faced plagues, wars, and betrayal, wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Every memory that haunts you, every moment of disrespect, every image of her choosing a chaotic illusion over your solid reality. You do not push these thoughts away. You gather them and you throw them into the furnace. You use them as fuel. You have hours in your day that used to belong to her. The time you spent texting, the time you spent worrying, the energy you spent trying to keep a fractured person together. That time is now yours. What will you do with it? You will build. Whether it is in the gym lifting heavy iron, or sitting in a quiet room for 5 hours a day, mastering a new skill, starting a business, or forging your intellect, you will turn your broken heart into a machine of absolute productivity. When you are tired, when you want to quit, you will remember the disrespect, and you will keep working. You will transform your suffering into an empire so massive that her departure will eventually look like a necessary sacrifice for your own greatness. Chapter 4. The Silent Empire. You have taken the pain. You have thrown it into the fire. The work has begun. You are spending your days lifting heavy iron or sitting in silence for hours, building your future. You are starting to see the results. You are becoming a dangerous man. Now, you will face the final trap of the ego. The ego will whisper to you. It will say, "Show her. Take a picture of your progress. Post your success. Let her see what she threw away. Make her regret it." Do not move. Do not pull out your phone. Do not post a single thing. If you build an empire just to show it to the person who abandoned you, you are not a king. You are still a slave. If your motivation to succeed is simply to make her jealous, then she is still pulling your strings from miles away. She still owns your mind. Seneca warned us about this external validation. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. But worse is the man who suffers to impress the crowd. Dark Stoicism requires you to build a silent empire. You must disappear. You become a ghost to her world and a giant in your own. When you operate in the shadows, you are untouchable. There are no updates for her to see. There is no timeline for her to judge. The illusion she chose is loud, chaotic, and desperate for attention. Your reality must be completely, terrifyingly quiet. Let her wonder. Let the people who doubted you assume you are broken. Let them think the void consumed you. While they are busy projecting a fake lifestyle to strangers on the internet, you are laying bricks in the dark. You are reading. You are training. You're mastering your craft. You're stockpiling resources. A man who needs to announce his victory is a man who is not used to winning. A dark Stoic knows that true power does not need an audience. Your success will not be a notification on her phone. Your success will be the undeniable gravity of your existence. Build the silent empire. Let the results make the noise, long after they have forgotten your name. Outro. The Pledge. We have reached the end of the guide, but for you, the real work has just begun. You came here because someone you trusted walked away from your loyalty to chase an illusion. You came here carrying the weight of the void. Listen to me very carefully. that weight is gone. You are no longer the man who was left behind. You are the man who survived the fire, and you are holding the hammer to forge your own steel. The path of dark stoicism is not for the fragile. It requires you to look into the abyss of human nature, the betrayal, the delusion, the weakness, and remain completely unshaken. Make the pledge with me right now. You will not look back. You will not check their digital footprint. You will not wait for an apology that will never come. You will take every ounce of pain, every memory of disrespect, and you will hurl it into the furnace of your ambition. They chose a mirage. They chose the noise. They chose to run. You will choose reality. You will choose the silence. You will choose the work. Let the weak chase the wind. You will build a fortress so massive, so undeniable, that the memory of their departure will be nothing more than a footnote in the history of your empire. Stay cold. Stay focused. Embrace the dark. I will see you in the next chapter.